Am I the a-hole for telling my husband that I won't let our baby meet his family? I've been with my husband for 9 years and I came into the relationship with a 1-year-old son. He's now 10. Up until last summer, we were very involved with my husband's family. But that changed after my husband's brother slapped my son across the face and the entire family defended brother-in-law. What happened was my son was standing at the sink getting water, and when he turned around, he slammed into brother-in-law, who was standing directly behind him. Brother-in-law had just had surgery on his back a few weeks prior, so my son running into him tweaked his back and he immediately struck my son in the face as an impulse reaction and made no effort to apologize. In fact, he doubled down and told my son to watch what he was doing next time and joked that he was lucky it wasn't worse.
I wanted to punch you, so you're lucky it was just a slap.
My son was not only hurt by the smack, but also extremely embarrassed and went out to the car to cry. I lost my mind entirely, so did my husband. I was pregnant during this time, and I told my husband at this point that his whole family was dead to me and they were not meeting our baby. At that time, he agreed with me. We have our baby 2 months ago and I've stood my ground. His family is not meeting our baby. His entire family sided with brother-in-law smacking my son across the face. So they have no business being around my 10-year-old or my newborn. They can all get f***ed. They have reached out several times expecting us to apologize for causing a scene and have told us to get over brother-in-law smacking my son. And again, no apologies have been made. But my husband's been acting super weird for like 2 weeks. Barely speaking to me, barely texting me when he's at work like he usually does, etc. I finally asked him what was wrong, and he gets pissed off and says, rather defensively,
"You've written off my entire freaking family, but I'm expected to smile and play nice to your family."
We have literally seen my family once since having the baby. I reminded him of our agreement and now he's backpedaling, saying,
"You made that decision, not me."
After turning the whole thing on me and making out like I was wrong and repeatedly saying he didn't care how I felt about it because right now it's about how he feels, he said that I'm making him depressed. At which point I said I didn't give a sense if it was making him depressed and his family wasn't meeting the baby. He says I'm an a-hole for disregarding his valid feelings. To add, the police were called when it happened. They actually called the cops on my husband because when he flipped out, he intimidated them. So a report was made and we did file trying to get brother-in-law charged for smacking my son. But ultimately, the cops did nothing because by the time they showed up 45 minutes later and there was no visible mark on my son's face anymore. Am I the a-hole for standing on my ground?
Here are the top comments.
Don't be surprised if your husband is sending his family pics of the baby. He is already caving. You can stop your older child from seeing any of them, but your husband will take the baby over, especially if you divorce. And next time an incident happens, and it will take pictures immediately.
Not the a-hole. You have a husband problem. No apologies, no meeting the baby.
Not the a-hole. I have a feeling there's a feeling a brother-in-law slapped your son and not his brother's son. Don't let this family near either of your children.